Hi Scorpio, how are you? It is me, Lauren B. Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. If you are new here, if you're a newbie, welcome. We're very happy to have you in this honeycomb. We are all family here, so grab a seat. Grab a seat, y'all. Scorpio, we're gonna use the Rider-Waite for your spread this week. We've gone very traditional. We've gone very traditional this week for you. I keep hearing like, it's like a circus. It feels like there's like a circus going on around you, and I keep hearing like the ringer, like you've been, like you're in the ringer, you're in the ring, you're like fighting some kind of battle, you're fighting your way through something, or you're going through the ringer, like you're going through a challenging time, and it feels like a circus. Like there's like a lot, like almost like you're standing in the middle of it, and there's just like a lot going on, like a bearded lady and an elephant and poppers and popcorn, and there's clowns, and there's just like so much going on around you that you're almost a little bit like a deer in headlights, like like very maybe like a little overstimulated, a little bit like you don't have enough like time or energy to like even pay attention to everything that's happening to you, let alone address it or deal with it. You're like really in the ringer, and I'm seeing you almost with like boxing gloves. I almost see, it's such a funny image. It's like you in a boxing ring with like a spotlight on you, and then around you is like a circus. It's like, it's a really funny visual. So I want to see what's going on, what comes out in the spread for you this week. It should be a good one. Father God, thank you for bringing me and my Scorpions in today. I ask that you give me wisdom and clarity to deliver these messages for Scorpio in their highest of love, light, alignment, and assignment. I ask that you bless and you cover these cards. We praise you in all your ways and all our days to the utmost high. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Amen, Scorpio. Maybe we'll go 3. I feel like we need 3. Maybe, oh, like boxing, like 3 rounds? Is that how it works in like boxing? 3 rounds? I don't know. I think so. 3 rounds. Okay, I'm gonna take this card. I'm gonna take it. Devil in reverse. Trying to avoid temptation. You're trying to avoid temptation this week, Scorpio. There's this energy that in order to cope or get through all of the craziness, the circus, the battle, the fight, whatever's going on around you, that there's, I'm hearing lush. There's this need to indulge, like either with people or like with substances, alcohol, getting your freak on, getting your smoke on, getting your drink on, just getting it on, whatever it is, Scorpio. Like there's this need, like you're really trying to fight against the impulse to use some of your old coping mechanisms to deal with all the craziness that's going on around you. Because I think you recognize that in doing so, it would be almost like a form of self-sabotage. And there's this energy of like, I've already worked so hard to get here. Like, I don't want to blow it. So that could be a lot of different things. So let's see what else we got going on for you. My nose is like really like itchy. I want to sneeze all of a sudden. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to say it in the best way I can because it's coming up and it's sitting on my spirit. Because I said like, I don't want to blow it. And then I was like there's an energy that maybe that might be a coping mechanism that perhaps in the past you've gone to that you're trying to avoid. You have the 10 of Cups. I am getting the impression that perhaps some of your all right, Scorpio, let's go there. That perhaps in the past some of your party favors put you at odds with some people, the people closest to you. So friends, family, partners, lovers, perhaps. That in times when you got really stressed, that was maybe something in the past that you leaned on. And that's part of like, you don't want to blow it. You don't want to just like freak out because you're so overwhelmed. Go back to doing something like that and kind of put it in put your 10 of Cups situation, whatever that is, at jeopardy. Part of this devil energy as well could be fears, anxieties, paranoias, and stresses that you're feeling regarding a 10 of Cups situation. Because, you know, the 10 of Cups, it's earned a cup at a time, a step at a time. So there's also part of the craziness. Maybe some of you are like planning a wedding. There's also like a pressure on you, like a committal pressure. Like maybe somebody around you wants you to commit, wants you to sign on for like the full 10 of Cups situation, and you maybe want to like walk it out a little bit more, get to know this person a little bit more, you want to date a little bit more. There's something having to do with pressure and anxiety, dealing with love and marriage, horse and carriage, that kind of thing. Now I'm saying horse and carriage, and now I'm seeing the Chariot card. Somebody maybe wants to move a little bit faster, perhaps, than you would like. Torn. You're torn, Scorpio. You are, because you're like, you have the 5 of Wands. This is my like going back in for like the good fight, And then you have it coming up against the 7 of Swords right here. Again, it is like this tug of war a little bit that's going on inside of you. You're like, all right, logically, because this is Swords is air, cerebral energy, right? You're like, all right, logically, like, I could just pick myself back up. I can go back in there. Like, I can fight for this relationship. I can fight for this thing. Like, I can do it. It makes sense. And then the other side of you with these other swords, right? And this thing that's separating them is two swords. And 2 of Swords is being kind of like a little bit blinded and a little bit blocked off. And then there's another part of you that's like, well, if I give in to this devilish energy, I might do something a little sneaky. I might do something a little shady, right? Maybe something that's gonna blow back on me, something that's like not the best. So it's almost like which night, like pick your fighter, Scorpio. It's like, are you gonna be like Batman, or are you gonna be like Two-Faced, right? You're gonna be Batman, or you're gonna be the Joker. You're gonna be Batman, or you're gonna be the Joker. With the 10 of Cups in the middle and the Devil in reverse. So literally you could be fighting like inner like demons, like kind of thing. And I'm not like saying like, demons. Like I just mean like inner vices that you have. That's crazy. But you know what the funny thing is neither of these characters, they're both looking away from the 10 of Cups. So there actually is an energy that whether you do the right thing or whether you do the vice thing, we'll put it, either way, both sides of you are like not trying to address the 10 of Cups. There's something about 10 of Cups, there's something about long-term commitment that is kind of freaking you out a little bit. It's giving you a bit of anxiety, and that's triggering up things inside of you. So there's a part of you that's like, maybe I should just not deal with this, like in the right way, just like cut it loose. But then there's also a part of you that's like, well, maybe I could like slink away. Now I'm hearing like Pink Panther. The World. Ooh, come back. Oh, look. The World card just flipped out, and then it just tried to hide itself in the deck. And now I have to go and I have to find it. That's interesting. You have to find the World. You might be trying to hermit yourself a little bit. The World represents completion. See, the sun comes out. The World represents completion, Scorpio. The end of a cycle, the end of a phase, the end of soul lessons in that particular bracket, of your experience, and then moving into a new phase in your life, moving into a new season, moving into a new cycle, and it's directly underneath the 10 of Cups. I think that there's an aspect of yourself that knows if you are going to commit to this, and like I said, this could be a job, like this could be a lot of things. It feels like personal, it feels interpersonal. But because I'm saying things like interpersonal and bracket, it could have something to do with like a job, like in terms of like a cup energy, like something you really love a lot, something that would require a lot of your commitment, a lot more responsibility for you. Look, it's like the new cycle is like, I'm here, and then it's like, I'm gonna hide it. Like if I can just hide this new cycle, then I won't have to complete like my old cycle. Again, it's like that avoiding energy. It's like that hiding. It's like hide and seek, Scorpio. I knew this was gonna be an interesting one. 6 of Wands. So this is victory. This is success. This is also recognition. So again, something with the 10 of Cups, business or pleasure, you know, up to you, Scorp. But something about being able to move. It could be for you as well, like a personal achievement, like a growing up sort of thing too. That moving into this 10 of Cups energy is going to put you in a new season, into a new phase of your life, which will bring you recognition, perhaps from other people, like, oh wow, Scorpio like really got their ducks in a row, like Scorpio, our little Scorpio grew up, like it's that kind of energy. But also for you too, knowing that being able to recognize yourself as being over a season or a cycle in your life where you were really beholden to your vices, to your more primal of natures is how I will put it, your party days, whatever it may be for you. But again, you are kind of still stuck in between these two energies of like, should I go back in there and fight the good fight? Like, can I do this? Can I do this? Or be like, should I just sneak out the back door? But neither of it, like, again, you're not looking at the success, you're not looking at the cups, you're not looking at the new cycle. It's like this real internal battle that you're having. Judgment, Scorpio. This is a resurrection energy. Judgment is a resurrection energy. Do you know what it feels like a little bit? A lot of it. It feels a little bit like perhaps some of these party habits, coping mechanism, vices, inner demons, whatever it is that you've been dealing with, like in a ring with, again, it's like boxing gloves, like in a ring. Again, and there's this circus around you. There is this energy that your environment heavily influences you, the people you hang out with, places that you go, things you do in your spare time, right? That are kind of influencing you. So it's not only like you have this internal battle, but it's also like you have this external battle as well in terms of nouns, people, places, and things that are around you. But part of this resurrection energy is almost resurrecting aspects of yourself, character, like characterisms, parts of like your like ethics, your morality, like integrity kind of things that I think you had before you hit the season in your life where you maybe started partying, or maybe you were very non-committal, or maybe you had some vices, or maybe the codependencies, or any of that stuff. It's almost like, I'm almost saying like return to sender, like we're kind of resurrecting, returning to like the you were before the world got to you, before the circus rolled up on you. That's kind of what it feels like. It's almost the energy of like when you were in that phase, you weren't ascended, like you weren't awake. And now that you're awake, you're having that internal, the Hermit, what did I say? You're having that internal battle of like, should I stay or should I go now? Beautiful. Scorpio. See, maybe I sound like an evil villain. Look, yeah, having that like internal battle now that you're awake, because when you're ascended, when you're awake, when you're woke, it's almost like you know better now. So it's like there's a part of you that can look back on the things that you used to do, the way you used to be, and be like, oh, well, you know, I didn't really know better. I didn't know myself then. I was a kid. But once you're like, you're grown, you're awake, you're aware of yourself, being a co-creator, you're aware of yourself spiritually, you don't really have an excuse anymore. So like when you do things, like you understand now the karma that comes back. It's not just consequence or victim of circumstance. Like you see how what you do really plays a role in it. So I think that's part of it as well. That's part of this new season, new cycle, is fully walking into your life, being fully present and awake. And now you have the Hermit in reverse, kind of coming out, again, resurrection, like coming out of hiding, trying to like come up and face it. And then you have Two of Pentacles, not juggling anymore, coming out of an energy where you used to like struggle with the juggle, the angel and the devil on your shoulder, right? And then you have the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. So Four of Wands, this can be like, again, it could be a commitment card in the sense of like marriage and family. There's normally a wedding depicted in this card, but it also, you know, you're gonna have to put aside those old ways, Scorpio. But fours also represent a foundational energy, like reinforcing the foundation you have in yourself, almost instilling like a sense of pride in yourself again, not doing things, hanging out with people, whatever, and then kind of like regretting. It's almost like a hangover when you like go out and you party, you do things, you wake up the next morning, you have a hangover, you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that, right? It's like creating that foundation in yourself. So it's like you're completely present with all the decisions that you're making and you're okay with them. You're proud of them. You're like, I know who I am. I know my character. I know my integrity. I don't regret any of the things that I do because I was really fully present while I made those decisions. It's that kind of foundational energy as well. Also, the unification of your masculine and your feminine energies as well. Leading into Three of Cups, which is a card of community, like celebration, rejoicing, right? This is also, I'm also just heard drink responsibly, like the little thing like they put on bars, right? On the bottom of liquor bottles, like drink responsibly. Also your ability to like, because the Four of Wands is also like it's a celebration, it's like a party, it's like a ceremonial reception card, it can be too. This is also the ability to kind of do things in moderation. It's not like, oh, I'm just gonna have one drink, and next thing you know, you're like throwing up on the sidewalk. It's like being able to like go out and have a couple and enjoy yourself and enjoy other people and like wake up the next day and be fine and like remember everything and you don't regret anything you said or you did. There's also like a big moderation. There's a big moderation energy in here as well for you. Knight of Swords in reverse. So there's a part of you that, again, because you're having a little bit of this internal battle that you're not communicating, because Knights bring messages. You're not really talking to anyone about this internal battle that you have. Almost like, yeah, I would really like to move into this next cycle and have the 10 of Cups and have like recognition and success and like a resurrection of like healthy senses of pride and accomplishment and be able to do things in moderation. But it's also an area that I'm like, I struggle with because of my past, because it's so like habitual. I've lived that life so habitually for such a long time that you're having trouble like talking to people about it, expressing it. You almost don't want other people to know that it's something you're kind of like wavering on, that you still are kind of struggling with the juggling. A lot of it could have to do with commitment as well too. You don't want to express it because that could make someone feel bad or make them like retract, make them sort of retract their intention, their commitment. If they're like, oh, well, Scorpio's wavering a little bit, well, then I need to reassess. You don't want to do that, right? It's like almost like you don't want to put your foot in your mouth. You don't want to put the cart before the horse until you know. King of Pentacles, beautiful, beautiful. This is a protective energy. This is a nurturing energy. This is very capable energy. This is also like a blueprinting energy for me, right? Like King of Cups has love letters and the King of Swords has contracts and the King of Wands has maps. Like the King of Pentacles, he has blueprints, right? So again, not really also communicating to people, ways in which you might be trying to like protect yourself, create like a little bit of a barrier as well, but also not communicating to people with like your long-term plans. There's also something about like your long-term plans and goals that you have for yourself, which may or may not include some of these people. I'm hearing like test run. I'm hearing test run. So if this is like the first time you've been in like kind of a more serious, more committed relationship, like you've gotten a little bit older now, right? You're just kind of like getting your sea legs, kind of understanding how the whole dynamic works. This could be something that you want in the future, right? Like you could want marriage and you could want kids and to be able to do things in moderation and recognition and the whole kit and caboodle, right? But it might be something that is still a little bit more down the line for you that perhaps you're not ready for right now. And again, there is this external pressure, like everyone looking at you, this external pressure. So there is something about you also not communicating necessarily about your long-term plans. There could be something about the long-term plans, like maybe you want to move across the country one day, or there's something else that you want to do that you know would put you in conflict. The plans will be conflicting between you and what someone else wants. Like I'm getting the idea that like you want to become an entrepreneur and like move across the country and like live in a tiny house or something like that. And like the person that you're with wants to like live in the town you grew up in and they never want to move. And so there's something about blueprints, like purposes and paths and blueprints that don't feel like they're lining up so much. They're coming at odds. And so there's a conversation that you're not really having about that either. That's coming through for someone. It might not be for all of you, but again, 9 of Swords right here. So this is kind of nightmares, stress, kind of stressed in the middle of the night, keeping you up, don't really know what to do about it, very anxious, very kind of like in your head energy. But King of Cups is coming out too. So that means that you are like handling your emotions relatively well. This is a relatively emotionally mature energy. It's also somebody that's emotionally available, somebody that is emotionally receptive and handles other people's emotions well. So again, that might be one of the things that could be making you not communicate so much. Like, well, logically it doesn't make sense for us to stay together because in 3 years or in a year, I want to go over here. I want to go away to college and you want to stay here and that kind of thing. But because you're very receptive to other people's emotions, it's almost like, again, you don't want to say anything until you have kind of completed this internal battle inside of you. So you've completed this internal battle inside of you. Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, yeah. 7 of Cups. So there's options that you're having a little bit as well in terms of like where you want to start planting seeds, because the Ace of Pentacles leads to the 10 of Pentacles, right? Which is, again, it's very similar to the 10 of Cups. It's just a little less emotional. It's longevity, it's foundation, it's generational, right? It's all of that, building up your kind of generational wealth kind of for your kids and your grandkids and moving forward. And it's like your legacy, right? It's kind of like a legacy card. So you know that you have a lot of different options in terms of where you can kind of plant your seeds, where you want your garden to grow, And it's almost the idea that, again, you don't really want to communicate with someone else about that you maybe have more flexibility. You may have more flexibility in the places you can go, the things that you can do than say someone else, or you're just more flexible in how you do it. Two of Swords. Yeah. So again, that's a little bit like closed off. You're being like a little bit closed off to like, again, that communication, but this could also represent like whoever else that you're dealing with in your environment, Scorpio, that is a little bit blinded to the fact they may not realize that you have like a lot more flexibility in terms of your career options, your location options, dating options, whatever options there are around you. They might be a little blinded and closed off to the fact that you have those, but also a little closed off to they themselves also being flexible. So being willing to wait longer to get married, or being flexible to the idea of moving, or seeing if they could transfer their job to another city, or there is that kind of energy in there as well. Queen of Swords. Yeah, so the Queen of Swords is like very, very logical. It's like I'm almost seeing this other person like, well, we live here, so, well, I work here. So it's like that kind of thing. And you're like, but we could do something else. Like, honestly, it's the idea of not wanting to sacrifice like your long-term potential, your dreams, for something that may or may not be temporary for you. And like I said, it is a 10 of Cups possibility. It is there, but I also haven't seen the Lovers. I haven't seen the 2 of Cups. It could be a situation, and there's a lot of air energy as well, honestly. So it could be something that logically, like, yeah, we work. Yeah, we get along. Yeah, we don't fight. Yeah, we could get married and have kids. Like, that would be cool. But again, there's this like loving, and you're like very like receptive and sensitive to that fact as well. But there is something about the fact that there's celebration, but there's no like 2 of Cups. There's no Lovers. I don't even see like Temperance. Like, I don't even see any of like the like gushy, like you make my heart melt kind of stuff too. So again, this other person could be like, well, logically, like we've been together for 2.5 years. So yeah, of course we're gonna get married and we're gonna have our kids here. But there's something missing there. There's something missing there. Yeah. Because you have the 5 of Cups and you have the Magician in reverse. So feeling a little like spilt milk, feeling a little remorseful that there's almost like not more that you can manifest. There's not more that you can like manifest in this situation. And I think maybe part of that, you trying to temper out that devil energy from the beginning of the reading, is you almost like knowing, perhaps unconsciously or consciously, not really wanting to recognize it again, because these 2 guys are still looking away from the world and the 10 of Cups and everything else that, how do I want to put this? It's almost like, again, I was talking about self-sabotage in the beginning, that like perhaps on some level, you know that you're missing some element of this relationship, some kind of mushy, gushy, makes my heart melt sort of thing, that makes you inclined not to want to walk this out to the full Monty, to the 10 of Cups, to moving in together and marriage and kids and the whole thing. And so you're kind of torn between, well, if I just kind of sabotage it, well, if I go to that party and I get all crunked up, they'll get mad at me, they'll break up with me, and then I won't have to take it's that sort of energy, you know what I mean? Or like, even if I do the 5 Swords and I'm just like super honest and I just do that thing, like that's gonna blow back on me. I'm gonna hurt their feelings. Like it's like almost like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, and you're just stuck with the devil either way. So again, it's like, I think maybe perhaps, and this doesn't apply to everyone, take it as it resonates, of course, take what you get and then leave the rest, right? There's an element of you that is thinking about self-sabotaging this in a way as almost like a getaway. This is that 7 of Swords energy. That's that 7 of Swords energy. If I just go to that party and I do that thing, they'll get mad and they'll just dump me and I won't have to deal with it. And then I'll have the freedom to go and do whatever I want, and then find my real 10 of Cups with my 2 of Cups and my ooey gooey Lovers card and the passion and the this and the that and the other thing, right? So, Scorpio, you're gonna have to, 2 wants the bottom. It's not choosing a path. But the Sun, not choosing the path that makes you perhaps the happiest. Not choosing the path that makes you the happiest. Empress in reverse. Not feeling very fertile, abundant in this situation. Not feeling like you could birth, again, that Magician, kind of birthing what you want. Or male or female, however it shakes out, you realize this person like isn't your Empress. She's not he or she is not like your queen, right? Like the end all be all, my moon and my stars, right? There is something about that. Scorpios are they're real sentimental. They're romantics. People don't think of it because people are like, Scorpios, death and rebirth. But Scorpios are like, they're real romantics at heart, you know? So that's a wrap. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. There's a lot going on. I think we walked that out pretty good though. We walked that out. I just Dr. Phil'd the crap out of you. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope this helped you. If this did resonate, I hope this helped you understand your process a little bit more, if nothing else. I love you guys very much. Thank you for coming and spending time with me. I love Scorpio so much. I really do. So, whew. I just shuffled those cards. Like we got the Fool card, taking a leap of faith on an equal give and take with someone that you think is really, really attractive and like really, really confident and like sexy and nurturing and warm. And that the other party, again, male or female, it all, you know, we all have masculine and feminine energies. This coming off as a little bit more like logical and cool-headed. I'm done with this reading, Scorpio. I'm done with this reading. I love you very much. If you're interested in daily, weekly, monthly content, that is linked in the description box. That is on the Patreon. All the decks that I use are in the description box. My Instagram's in the description box. And my email if you're interested in a personal reading. Till I see you next time, stay prayed up, stay blessed. I love you lots, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.